Good evening, everyone. Welcome you all to the Campus Star show of the Daily Star. Today, we'll be talking about an institution that follows the approach of liberal arts towards education. This is an institution that fosters knowledge creation, it upholds human value, and promotes sustainable development. It's none other than Brac University, a promising university, one of the best universities in Bangladesh. Today we'll have campus stars, one current campus star and one alumnus who is a CXO of an organization, and we'll have officials as well. So today we will talk about why Brac University is shining like a star in this campus star show. Now I'm introducing the panel. Uh, Dr. David Dowland, Registrar, Brac University.
Thank you.
Hello.
Assalamu alaikum. It's good to be here this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. And thanks for joining with us. Next, introducing Fuad Hassan Mollik, Professor and Dean, School of Architecture and Design, Brac University.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening.
Welcome, salam. Thank you for being with us. We'll have Alif Hussain, student, BBA in Finance and Supply Chain Management, Brac Business School.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, and a very good evening. Thank you so much, Priya.
Thank you for joining us. So now we will have a presentation by Mr. Dave, and we will know more about this proud global institution from Bangladesh. Let's enjoy and see the presentation by Dave.
Well, thank you very much. Is the screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
It's good. Okay, well, thank you. So it's a real pleasure to introduce Brac University and to say from the start that this is a university with global reach. I heard of Brac University in the UK some years ago and came several thousand miles to work here. And that global reach comes to a large extent from our founder, Sir Fazli Hassan Abed, who founded Brac, the world's largest non-government organization, perhaps the most famous social worker in the world. And this university is a major part of his legacy. He wanted quite simply to found a leading university that would bring in talented students who would themselves become leaders for this country and for South Asia and beyond. And the links with the Brac movement take us into some of the great world problems and issues which we can expect many of our students to be working on through their careers, not least education and health, but many other areas as well. And Brac is often described as a national laboratory, and it's certainly a wonderful resource for a university. The data, the case studies, and the reach that we have into every part of Bangladesh, and indeed some 11 countries around the world, and many other links besides. So what a wonderful resource for a university. Straightforwardly, we as a university want to be forward-looking. There is a huge amount of social change going on out there, what is often referred to as a fourth industrial revolution. And we want to help our students develop the critical thinking skills, the ability to improvise in unfamiliar situations, to work effectively with others, to become the graduates that employers want all over the world, and also to have satisfying lives. You never quite know where you're going to end up in your life in this international borderless world. And this is the story of our Vice Chancellor, Professor Vincent Chang. He's gone from Taiwan to the United States to China. He's a leading figure in industry and in higher education. And he wants to take forward Sir Fazli Abed's legacy by establishing Brac University as one of the major institutions of South Asia. He himself is very multidisciplinary. He has studied economics and electrical engineering in many of the Ivy League universities, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Harvard, Yale, Berkeley, and so on. So he's something of a role model for us as an institution. We say we want to be student-centric. And what do we mean by that? Well, we mean partly that we want students to become partners in their education. And that's how eventually they become leaders, that they are co-creators in their education. We also want to have policies that very much focus on the needs of students. So, for instance, over the past year, we spent nearly $8 million on financial support for students to help them through the pandemic, and also to reward academic excellence. And I've emphasized from the start how international this university is. Just a couple of examples of that. Last year, the billionaire philanthropist George Soros announced at the World Economic Forum in Davos that Brac University would become the first university in Bangladesh, actually the only university in the country at the moment, to be part of the $1 billion Open Society University Network. And that's bringing us all sorts of advantages. Our students can study online courses with other students from Vietnam, the Middle East, from London, and from Princeton. We're part of the World Technologies University Network, and we have increasing numbers of international students, which means that we have a rich international community without even having to leave Bangladesh. You can get an education of international dimensions here. And we also have increasing numbers of partnerships with leading institutions around the world. We're part of the Association of Commonwealth Universities with some 500 university partners altogether. And we're looking forward to our future, moving to a colossal new campus. And we have with us Professor Fuad, the Dean of Architecture and Design. And Professor Fuad, would you just like to say something about this magnificent new home that we're looking forward to moving into?
This is, is the single largest university building in Bangladesh with 1.7 million square feet. The building has been designed by award-winning architects from Singapore called WOHA, and it is the state-of-the-art in building design. It is a sustainable design in the sense that it encourages green in the various places. It has solar panels, as you saw in the picture, which provides 1/6 of the power requirements of the university. It is very much, as Dave said, student-centric. The campus is designed for students. Therefore, almost 50% of the square footage is left for circulation and opens for people, students to mingle about. And we have, since Dhaka has a shortage of land. So in this campus, the roof is the green campus, green lawn where students can play. They can around. They even have a swimming pool. So this campus is already an architectural landmark in Bangladesh, if not the world. So I'm sure students will enjoy this campus very much, which is half naturally ventilated. So you have the sense of a campus, but a couple of stories higher. So this campus is going to be something that students will like, and it is for the students. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we're looking forward to our future there. And anyone who comes to study with us at undergraduate level over the next year can expect to spend a large part of their education with us in this new home. So why choose to come to Brac University? Well, lots of reasons. I'm just going to mention a couple here so that we can go into discussion as soon as possible. There's no doubt that it is one of the major universities of Bangladesh. And I think from the list of points here, one of the things that I'd mention in particular would be that we are investing in new schools and subject areas. So we are developing a new graduate school of management to provide the executive education that graduates need and the economy needs as well. We have a new school of data and sciences. Robotics is becoming a significant discipline here. We're looking to invest further in pharmacy, which is already a major subject in the university. We have the rich campus life that you'd expect in an institution of well over 11,000 students, and many clubs and societies which themselves add to the experiential learning, which is at the heart of a really good university education. We may talk in a moment about the range of clubs and societies and how they help to develop graduates and leaders. And a special feature of the university, which Sir Fazli Abed established, is the residential semester. And we have a beautiful campus in Savar, and all our undergraduate students go to spend a semester there, pandemic allowing. And this is an opportunity for many of them to go for the first time to live away from their homes, away from their families, to get used to living with other people of their generation, to learn how to become leaders in many ways. And I think that Alif and our alumnus may want to reflect on the significance of this transformational experience really in their education, of living and working with other students for a semester. Last year, when the pandemic broke out, Brac University was one of the first institutions in the country to move teaching online. And because of it, we don't have the session jam that has unfortunately affected some students around the country. So there's a flexible online learning platform, which means that students can study wherever they are on whatever device they happen to have. And it's designed to make learning interactive and dynamic. And the future is really one of blended learning, as it's called. So we can expect after the pandemic to have teaching and learning activities physically on campus, but also to use online learning as a way of making teaching still more dynamic. It's fair to say that we have one of the largest scholarship and financial aid programs in the country. Over the past year, we've spent nearly $8 million, as I mentioned earlier on a combination of financial aid to help students through the pandemic and on scholarships. The scholarship scheme was already very extensive. All sorts of scholarships, international scholarships. There are scholarships for new students, depending on their results at HSC or A-level or equivalent. Students who have top grades can get scholarships of 50% or even more in some cases. We also reward students who've done well on course here, and they have scholarships varying between 10% and even 100% in some cases. And there is financial support on the basis of need for students as well. Many different types of scholarships, and our admissions pages have details of how to apply for those scholarships and the criteria for winning them. And we're always looking to increase that scheme as well to help our students as much as possible. Now, the theme of this evening is Campus Stars, and we want to allow as much time as possible to talk to our student and alumnus. But really, we could talk all night, I think, about the successes of our alumni. This colourful slide was put together by some of our alumni just to give some sense of the many organisations that our graduates go into. I understand that some people suspect that Brac University students go primarily into business organisations, and many of them do, and they have success there. but many also go into government and development organizations. They're in the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank, United Nations Development Programme, as well as our own Brac organization. And we put some emphasis on entrepreneurship development to help students to prepare for their future careers. And entrepreneurship is something really which all students should have some development in. And just thinking very briefly about some of the successes of particular students, I have time just to flash this up on the screen, but the thing I really wanted to stress was the impact of the university on world development, really. For instance, one student who came from a primary school in Bangladesh, she received full financial aid. She studied Chinese. She went to China to study medicine. And now she's back in Bangladesh acting as a gynecologist. So her education is now benefiting others. And we have so many other examples of students who have used their education very promptly to serve others right across the world. This is a university at its best when you see students doing that with their education. And then we also have students and staff working together. In this case, this is Mongol Tori, a space-age next generation Mars rover, also good for rescue missions on Earth. And it's been doing very well in international competitions with elite institutions. And then another kind of technology from the School of Architecture and Design, developing houses that will be resistant to flood and other types of disaster from cyclones. Again, the university having a real impact in improving the lives of people around the country as well as other parts of the world. We're a large university, so we have a wide range of programs, lots of choices, just flashing up on the screen, the subject areas that we have, so very wide range there. And fast forwarding to the end of this, you can see this very long column of graduates marching to their convocation. This was a very special event a couple of years ago, just before the pandemic, when the former Secretary General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, came with His Excellency, the President of Bangladesh, to celebrate the successes of the graduates, but also to recognize the international profile and the growing profile of Brac University. We are about to start our next admissions phase. We will begin to take applications for admission for the full semester in the next few days. And then we will have admissions tests in the first week of August. The admissions tests take the form of online interviews, a happy, relaxed, but focused experience. We want our students to come ready, equipped to benefit from their courses. So first week of August for that. And then we will start the full semester on the 9th of June. And if you click on this Q code on the screen, apparently that should take you straight to the admissions page, or you can contact our admissions office if you're interested to join us. We just started the summer semester with lots of new students, and we're looking forward to the next crop of students in the full semester. So that's everything I think I would say by way of introduction to this conversation, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dowland. It's actually like a proud global institution from Bangladesh. Like while I was going through this presentation, it's actually the global institution from Bangladesh. And if I can just make a gist of the presentation, you are working aligned with Fourth Industrial Revolution, part of now Open Society University Network. It's $1 billion network, and coming up architectural landmark. That's a great thing. Like I'm looking forward to going there and seeing the campus. It's the highest ranked university in Bangladesh. The online platform you have launched, we already have seen online in different news platforms, like how important and how good it is. And you talked about the scholarships, like $8 million scholarship schemes. And it's all about experiential learning that you say that's very important in current context. So from that presentation, I'm coming to Professor Fuad H. Mullik, sir. Sir, like there are lot of universities, lot of education institutions in Bangladesh, and it's like there are, in terms of quantity, it's lot, but in terms of quality, not always the best. So if I talk about quality education, it's a far cry. Students now need quality education, and in terms of quality education, I mean that makes them economically productive, having them sustainable livelihood, and like it's about their individual well-being. So, what is actually quality education to you from your vast experience? Can you share this with the students who are watching it, and how BRAC actually ensures quality education?
Well, let me. I remembered a quote from long ago. It said, "Education is what you remember after you've forgotten what was taught in class." Right. So, by saying that, I mean that education is not just going to class and listening to lectures. I mean, it can be done anywhere. Education is about making a person a complete person. So it has got a lot to do outside the classroom, how you interact. So I think the first thing that one would look for in good quality education is the quality of the teachers. And Brac University has very good faculty, dedicated and committed to good education. Um, Other than that, apart from learning your subjects, we have a well-rounded education. We have a school of general education, which gives which teaches subjects outside of the main major of the students, and they can choose from a whole lot of choices. Other than that, there are a couple of subjects that we emphasize and teach on. For example, we teach about ethics. Now, having said that, why do we teach ethics? Because in this world, ethics need to be promoted, as it was quite obvious in the early days, but now we need to do that. Um, we do Bangladesh studies, and what Dave also said, very important. Behind us as our parent institution is BRAC, and BRAC has a reach in over 68,000 villages in the country and abroad. So students can plug into that lab if they want, and they can learn from the whole experience of BRAC, which has a whole lot of programs, health, education, and also social enterprises, Arong and Bragg Bank, etc. So there we have this university which has got this huge laboratory where students can choose to learn from a lot of other things. For example, the disaster resilient habitat was something that BRAC also support. We work together with BRAC to do that. Um, the the other thing is that our founder, Sir Fazle Hassan Abed, used to talk about enlightened people, and they can make change in society that we very much need. And he talked a lot about empathy. So we have an empathy lab, and students are inculcated in empathy, so they understand what the problems of Bangladesh are, and they can take a proactive step towards solving that. So this education is context-based, Bangladesh, and also international. So as Dave said, so we try to make a complete person of the student who comes in. And of course, the residential semester, as we say, is a first is where character building. I think character building happens at the residential semester. So students learn to depend on themselves, and they know how to take care of themselves. So after all the learning in the classrooms and everything, but when we have our graduate, that person is a complete person with a good quality education, all rounder, and a problem solver, and can face anything in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Uh, sir, as you said about like the vision to make a person who is actually enlightened. So, and it's about all about the empathy thing. I want to come to the campus star, Alif. You are the campus star of the show. You are the current campus star. So, what like from the line of Fuad sir, what I want to ask is about this experiential learning thing. Like I heard about a lot of learning resources, as Dr. Dowland said, and it's about that contextual learning where you are actually like created as a complete man. So Brac University is giving you the support to be a complete man, and like the parent company Brac is providing you a lot of opportunities to actually explore real life experiences. So you being the campus star, can you share your experience how you are becoming the complete man?
Thank you so much, Priya, for providing me the opportunity to share my insights and my experience. So, back when I joined Brac University, it was quite renowned for providing the basic services that it provides, that is education. However, when I joined in and I got to learn that there are certain aspects, such as the residential semester itself, and courses that are taught, such as ethics and cultures, Bangladesh studies, and other courses in general. These sort of courses actually allowed me to learn more about the world, the more about the different sort of cultures that we have. And the most important thing is that these courses and the faculties that who taught us these courses, they actually allowed us to have that understanding of accepting the difference between the cultures, accepting people who are different than us. I can share a lot about our residential semester experience. So, in our residential semester experience, a lot of focus is given on building qualities such as empathy. And we all know how important empathy would be in order to make a person, someone, to be a complete man and complete in general. And these sort of qualities are actually helping us students to have that sense of belonging to the community and the sense of giving back to our community. So I think these sort of quality building and not only focusing on the educational aspects of students, but rather than focusing on making students emotionally intelligent. I think this is something that we as students are very fortunate enough for being trained from Brac University, and we are really grateful to the university for this. Alongside, other than the basic curriculum based learning, that is the course contents and all, there is a center for entrepreneurship development, and this center actually hosts business competitions as well. And in this place we are actually given the chance to bring in new ideas that are going to solve the problems of the world. And through these ideas, the best ideas are selected through that competition and they are filtered out, and then we actually get sort of training of 1 to 2 years. And these Center for Entrepreneurship Development, which is also known as CED, they also arrange seed funding facilities for the students and their startups as well. So I think Brac University is not limiting us within the borders of the classroom. Rather, they are letting us go beyond the classroom and not only learn about the things or contents that are provided in the books, but and become intellectually intelligent, but rather the university is providing a lot of effort on making us emotionally intelligent. So I think this is very important in order to make a person a complete person. Thank you so much, Bhaiya.
Thank you, Alif. Now, I'm going to the campus star, the alumnus of Brac University, Mr. Tazdin Hassan. I'll be asking him question, and I'm happy to share the screen with him as well because he is my boss in Daily Star. So, Tazdin Bhai, uh, as Alif said, like Brac University gave him the sense of belongingness and made him emotional intelligent. So, being to be emotionally intelligent, what it's a trait of a CXO as well, like to be intelligent emotionally and not limiting yourself and going beyond, going extra mile. So as a CXO, alongside this leadership skill, you need that passion, resilience, and drive, the adaptability, and like willingness to go extra mile. So, how actually Brac University shaped you as a CXO, and now you are going extra mile? being successful.
Thank you so much, Shubhashish. Shubhashish, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
So, first of all, Shubhashish, congratulations to you and your team for initiating this Campus Star program. And I am grateful to my university for selecting me as a representative of the alumni member to be here. And it's an honor for me to share this webinar forum along with Professor Fuad H. Mollik, because I admire Sir a lot, and it is a fascinating experience for me to listen to him. And Sir was talking about empathy lab, and I really love the concept. I believe this is kind of, we talk about innovation lab, we talk about idea lab where we nurture ideas. But at the end of the day, if we don't have empathy, we cannot have the, we cannot achieve the bigger goal in life, that is living in a society where we can have equality and we can have peace and harmony. Having said that, now coming back to your question regarding how Brac University shape up me as a CXO member. So rather answering that, Shubhashish, let me tell you a very interesting story. How Brac University helped me to land at my first job. I think if you get that, if you get to hear that story, I think rest answer is assured. Okay. So it was my last semester in Brac University, and the course was salesmanship. And I remember it was around 8 a.m. We used to attend the class. But for that particular course, Brac University chose someone, a guest faculty from BAT Bangladesh. So he was the channel manager in BAT Bangladesh. His name is Mr. Shabab Hossain. So Shabab Bhai now lives in Canada. So what happened in that particular semester in 2006, he used to come at 8 a.m. taking our class, and he left for his office around 9:30 to 10. In that particular course, I used to make a lot of connections with him after the class, because I was fascinated by the story that he told, the fascinating story of a territory officer in BAT Bangladesh. Like if someone joins in BAT Bangladesh, he got a lot of freedom, the fringe benefits, and it's an exciting career as a marketeer you can have if you join there. So what happened is that I scored A in his course, and after the course, he offered me, Tajdin, would you be interested to explore an opportunity in BAT Bangladesh? And I said, why not? And I was about to graduate. I was looking for my internship, and I said, rather looking for internship, I would like to explore in BAT. So he actually forwarded my resume. Then I was put into the entire process of recruitment, and eventually I was picked up by BAT. So if Brac University didn't take that bold step to, bring a guest faculty from a corporate arena, I may not have landed in my first job in one of the leading top MNCs. So this is how actually my university helped me to land at my first job. So the rest actually, the values that has been taught here, I always try to carry forward those in my entire career. But it's not always been a very, sweet journey. It's always been a bittersweet journey for me, because in career, you got a lot of hiccup. Not every day you are going to have a good day. Sometimes you have bad day, you have emotional breakdown, you switch your job, you adapt with new culture. But I believe that the values that has been taught during the time in the campus, that helped me a lot to, focus on those adaptability. And I believe at the end of the day, who has more adaptability, he could thrive, he could go a long way in career. Thank you, Shubhashish.
Thank you, Tajdin Bhai. That's very inspiring. Now coming to Dr. Dowland. We have seen your presentation, all the activities and all the facilities provided by Brac University. Now, if I just say it in one word, like, is there actually a perfect recipe for an excellent university? And if yes, what are the key ingredients of Brac University that's making it an excellent university?
Well, I think we can come up with quite a number of ingredients for a really good university. And I think at Brac University, just to mention a few examples, some of the things that have been mentioned already. One is that the university is operating on an international scale, because ideas don't stop at national borders. We're in a borderless, interconnected world. and that's how universities have to operate. And Brac University has the scope to do that. Another feature is how teaching and learning works. So here we're starting with a broad education, a foundation for learning, where students can learn how to think. And we can bear in mind that when they leave the university, they're going to have to be able to think on their feet, to improvise. So learning how to think, critical thinking skills, that sort of thing is of vital importance. And then they go into specialisms as well. Another thing that is really vital for a university, and again, we can see this here, is to be exposed to original thinking or fresh ideas or what you may call real world problems. And we've got that in plenty, partly through the links with Brac, but also through the other connections of the university. So the university is in so many ways addressing problems and issues of world and local significance, and students have a chance to engage with that directly. And then also the theme of experiential learning. So in a good university, you have the learning inside the classroom, but also outside the classroom. And we've talked, for instance, about the residential semester. And it's very striking going around Bangladesh, meeting so many young people who are getting a career advantage because they're already involved in social projects, community projects of various kinds, or like our Mongol tourist students, they're working together in that particular case on robotics projects. So they're already anticipating the world of work. All of these things are happening here. And then for the future, continuing to build universities in Bangladesh need to deepen their links with industry, to bring industry into the classroom, and also to develop their research infrastructure to support learning and teaching as well. The connection between learning and teaching and research are very important, and we can see some of that also developing in the university as we prepare for the years to come. So there's just a few examples of some of the ingredients of a really good institution. And I think we can see quite a number of them apparent in Brac University, and we'll see them developing in the next few years. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dolan. So there are like a lot of ingredients, interconnectivity, like connectivity with the world, critical thinking, original thinking, and fresh ideas. You talked about the community projects, bringing industry knowledge to the classroom, and that research thing that's very important for an university. So as we know about the ingredients, I'm coming to Alif. Alif, so I want to ask you the question. You are the campus stars. As a campus star, like the Alif before joining Brac University, now you are studying here, you are getting all those supports, all those ingredients, and then you'll be transformed before going to the job market. So in this like input, output, and this transformation, what are the values you are learning, and how actually the transformation is going on so that you are prepared as the future leader of the country?
Thank you, Bhaiya. So basically, when I joined Brac University as a freshman, as like most of my friends, I was very confused about how my faculties would be, how my course mates would be, and how much support I would get from the university to excel in my studies, learn from it. So with time, I got to know that there are various aspects about the university, such as if I give an example of the first year advising team, it is a team which consists of academic advisors as well as student mentors, and these people actually help first year students to and they guide them to for the first 2 to 3 semesters so that students are academically sound, and they also track the progress of us, the students, and they also teach us. They also take note of our mental health, like are we feeling pressurized from our course contents or not. So while working with this first year advising team, I actually got to know that these are the people who are working day and night for us, and they are actually caring about us and about our studies and our experience in the university. And from this, I could learn that even there are hundreds and thousands of students coming in and getting out of the campus every day, but there is always someone caring about you from the campus that gives you the sense of belonging. So this is one of the prime aspects that I learned from the university, that there's always someone caring about you, and this actually motivated me to work harder. And when I see that when I see that some of my friends are struggling with their courses, this feeling actually works in me, and I go on like beyond the study hours to help them out, uh, so that they can also do good in their courses as well. Apart from this, there are certain aspects which I already mentioned while answering the previous questions. That is, the university is trying to build the sense of empathy within us. So this is actually very important, I think, because making someone intellectually intelligent, that is the work of majority of the universities out there. But working on the working and focusing on making students emotionally intelligent, that is what very few universities are into. And this actually have helped us a lot and have helped us develop ourselves. Like if I go back 4 years back, when I was just a freshman, I was very shy. I would definitely not be able to speak in such a setting, which I am being able to do today. And this has a lot to do with our residential semester learnings, where we are told to give like 3 to 4 presentations every week. And this actually helped us grow as good presenters, as good communicators. And we were actually taken to certain field trips and brag visits, where we would go to the rural areas of the country from the residential semester and from the residential campus. And we would actually get to learn how the people in the rural areas are living, how the kids are getting educated through Brac primary schools. And during those visits, we actually could see that how privileged we are compared to those people. And this sense of difference, that always inspired us to do something for the community, so that the privileges that I am having today, the kid who was just trying their best to study in those primary schools in the rural areas, they can go on further in their lives and be able to study in universities like Brac University and other renowned universities in the country. So this is how the entire process is helping me out to grow as a person and contribute to the community.
Thank you, Alif. Now we have 2 questions. I want to take those questions one by one, if you can see this. So Anika Tahsin Tondra, she asked, as many families has been affected by COVID, both financially and mentally. Can you tell us what is Brac University doing for the students who are financially affected and who are mentally affected? So Dr. Daland or Malik sir, whoever wants to take the question.
Okay, who wants to go first?
Dave, you want to take that?
Do you want me to start off? So, yes, just referring back to what we were saying earlier on, the university made a decision, the Vice Chancellor made a decision early on when the pandemic started, that there would be significant investment in financial support for students. And we're carrying that on in this semester. So we have a wide sharing of fee waivers for students. And then we also have special funds, particularly for undergraduate students, to help them when they are facing particular problems such as multiple bereavements in the family or serious illness. And this has accumulated to a total of some $8 million of spending, if we include also the scholarship provision that we had before. And the scholarship program predated the pandemic relief fund, the student assistance fund. So it was a large scholarship fund with a strand of help for students with particular financial needs, to encourage students who have merit but also have financial needs. There's really, we might say, a long tradition in the university of supporting students from those backgrounds. We've also been looking at how we can support students psychologically in various ways. We're doing everything that we can to make sure there is still that there's a student life going on, that we support students online. For first year students, we have an academic advice team which is keeping in close touch with students to help them through their first year and supporting them quite extensively at that level, and with student mentors involved as well. So that's a notable example as well of a pre-existing support arrangement in the university, which has come to have special significance during the pandemic. Perhaps colleagues might want to come in to add some more, but some quite substantial financial and personal support in place already.
I think for one, our tuition fees now are already less because we don't charge for campus activities, things that would have happened in the campus. So that is the first step. And then, of course, the student assistance fund.
Yeah.
And we have, as I think our student mentioned, that we have counselors. And when we are in person, you can go and see them. But when you are not, when you're out, we're having online classes, they can be approached by phone. You can talk to them if you're mentally distressed or you have some issues there. That can be done as well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dave. There's another question, if we can see that on the screen. So, Muriel Hawk is the Managing Director of DHL Express Bangladesh. He asked, great discussion. What Brac University is doing differently to connect classroom learning to employability, which is often concerned from employer perspective? Malik, sir?
Yeah, I think your Tanzil mentioned this, right? I think he spoke how he got connected with this person from BAT, and he landed his first job. So we have in the university career counseling, and there is a career counseling group which helps you look for jobs, write CVs, write applications, how to face an interview, etc. Plus, we also have, as Tanzit mentioned, people coming in from industry to teach. So that's one line connecting line to the whole world of employability. So basically, the connection happens there, and also our faculty and our career services unit. They as a student is near graduation, they take them on board, offer them services where they can look for a job, etc. Even have mock interviews if that helps. So we are connected to the employability world, if you like, and we are constantly in touch with them, and our career services officers ask them, what positions do you have? And we pass it on to the students, and they can apply. All right. So I think there is no shortage of help in that sector as far as our students are concerned. We go all out to help them.
Thank you, sir. As we are now talking about employability, I'm coming to Tazdin Bhai. Tazdin Bhai, the relationship between a student and university, it doesn't end just after the graduation. It's like a lifelong relationship with the university, lifelong tie. So how, you being an alumnus, how alumni body can play a role by bridging students and this corporate world, or like in like organizations, and what are the suggestions from you to the students, what they can do to be a good employee?
Thank you, Shubhashish. Before answering that, I would like to thank Miyarul Bhai, the country manager of DHL Express, to listening to our event, and he is someone I also look up to in the corporate industry. Now, coming back to your question, Shubhashish, we are now living in the era of digital, and like you mentioned, how we are getting connected. So answering to that, for Brac University alumni group, in Facebook, we have a couple of groups for Business Alumni Association, for alumni as a whole. What happened is that what we do in that group. So when someone is getting promotion, we celebrate that. When some organization is looking for a position to fill it up, that particular alumni who is working in that organization post that job option to that particular group. So this is how the alumni is, helping each other to grow. And apart from that, I believe this digitalization has made it very easy nowadays to get things connected. Having said that, I have been the president for the Alumni Association for 4 years. And yes, we did a couple of events, the offline events. We introduced the Alumni Award, where we recognize alumni who are doing good in different areas such as journalism, corporate, entrepreneurship, architecture, music, to encourage the alumni who are doing good, because it has been more than 20 years now. And another point is that it's kind of a concern that I still have in my mind, is that how much we actually believe to be get connected. That is also important, because let's say we have 10,000 alumni members in a social media group, but at the end of the day, you will find 2 to 3% of the people who are very connected, who are posting the job opportunities, who are making comments, celebrating other success. So it's very important to have a very inclusive kind of a participation, extended kind of a participation from the alumni member. If we don't come forward, if each one from his position don't come forward, then this, the impact cannot be much bigger. So the concern is that not everyone is participating in uplifting each other. So where I urge to all the alumni member to come up with the mindset where you can actually help each others to grow. Because at the end of the day, what I believe, Brac University, Alumni Association, the Brac University, the Alumni Group, we are a family. So like we help the family, we help each others in a family, we also would love to extend that, the support network. Having said that, I believe apart from, I think this due to pandemic, now a lot of events have been held physically. So after this, I believe one day when it's over, we will again meet in person. We will be able to, hold different programs where alumni can meet and greet and, extend their connections. Yeah.
Thank you, Tazim Bhai. Now going to the current campus star, Alif. We know like Brac University students, they do a lot of extracurricular activities. There are a lot of clubs. So if you can describe what are the clubs do you have and what are the activities and all other education and social programs you have.
Okay. So in Brac University, we have around 27 clubs at the moment, which 27 active clubs, and these clubs actually belong to various categories, and these cover all aspects, such as be it film club, be it drama club, be it sports, be it cricket, football, business clubs, communications club. We also have robotics club. We have community service club. So there are clubs for people who are passionate, and all the clubs almost cover all aspects in which the students are interested. So I, as a student, I joined Brac University Business Club Bisbee in my very first semester, and I had been serving in the club for 4 years. And during my last year of being a student, I actually served the club as the president. And through these club activities, I can assure you that students are learning a lot, especially when it comes to communications. These clubs give the platform to students to learn a lot about how to communicate with each other, how to support each other, and how together we can actually bring something very good to the community, such as like when it comes to organizing events. If I try to organize an event alone, it would be quite difficult. And that is when teamwork comes in. And through this club, teamwork is being taught to all the students. In my club, there are around 6 departments, and all of these departments, around 70 to 80 or 100 members are working together to bring down one single event. That is how through this club we are learning about teamwork, as well as we are learning how to communicate with each other properly. And one thing that is very unique about Brac University's clubbing culture, that is, in other universities we see that the students are divided by clubs, but in Brac University all the clubs are working together to bring down and achieve certain milestones. If I share the example of our last convocation, which was 13th convocation of Brac University, where our convocation speaker was Mr. Ban Ki-moon. So in that convocation, we had around more than 10,000 plus invitees and attendees. So all the clubs, all 27 clubs work together to bring down this event and make this event a massive success for the university. And we are not here just divided by clubs, but we are united by our belongingness to the university. So this is something that I really like. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Thank you, Alif. Now we are running out of time, so this is the last question I'll be asking Mullik sir as well, Dave. I've seen Brac University is the leading research university in research investment. So you have invested a lot in research, and it's also aligned with your mission. The mission you have, like creating knowledge and upholding human values. So there's another question related to research. So we'll be taking that question and then we'll be ending the show. Can we see the question? Saiful Alam asked how research on socio-political and economic dynamics in the country is given encouragement. So I'll ask about this question as well, and like total research initiatives you have. I want to know about that.
Who wants to start?
No university is complete unless it has research, and this is very important. And you know, in Bangladesh, research hasn't been the thing for universities in the past. So we recognize that very well. Our vice chancellor recognizes that very well, and we have invested in research. Now, research, there are various kinds of research. The question that you had was socio-cultural, I don't remember what it was, but research can be scientific. It can be, you can look into a microscope or with a telescope up into the universe and see what's going on. But I think in Bangladesh, our students need to be connected to what is called experiential research. As Dave mentioned, along with experiential learning, experiential research. What I mean is that they need to experience the outcome of the research, or they need to go somewhere where they can experience something and develop research from there, which also brings me to action research. So in Bangladesh, even if you are looking in through a microscope to see some, microorganisms, something, you need to go and see in the field how that works. All right, you need to go and work in the field to see what are the questions, and then you answer the questions through research in the field. And as I said, BRAC is the laboratory for doing that. And what the research that our faculty are doing, we have a substantial amount of money given out to faculty to do research, and this is handed over with very through a competitive approach where proposals are taken. So these faculty researches, what happens is that these researches, the outcome of that is fed into the classroom. So you know what you've done, and then what are the results, and you update your course with that. So there's a connection between the research by the faculty member down to the class. And research, as you know, in universities, research is done mostly by faculty and graduate students. We have a significant number of graduate students in the School of Public Health and BIGD, Brac Institute of Governance and Development. In our school as well, in architecture and design. For example, the Brac Institute of Governance and Development, they do a lot of research. I mean, I think they got about $6 million from the Gates Foundation. And whatever research they do will make its way into the classroom, undergraduate or postgraduate. So we are really looking into research, into quality research. We have a new vice president of research who's very experienced in this field, and we are setting up high quality, high-end laboratories to do, scientific research in computer science or physics or all these things. So we spread the research agenda across the entire universities: socio-cultural, socio-economic, scientific, maybe and someday astrophysics also. So we are really going that way, and we are going to evolve as a serious research university.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Dowland, if you want to add something related to this.
Yes, so research, knowledge exchange, and practical applications, there's a wealth of things going on. The social scientists and economists are doing research with Birmingham University in the UK on fast tracking and designing mass COVID vaccination across Bangladesh, one of the most pressing issues, and they're right in there. The Institute of Educational Development won the famous Yidan Prize for Educational Development the other year. They are international leaders on early years education, and they work with Cambridge University, New York University, and other notable institutions across the world. And the School of Public Health has been recognized by the World Health Organization as one of the leading schools of its kind, and colleagues at Harvard University have said that they particularly appreciate being able to work with that School of Public Health because of its link to practical applications through the National Laboratory of Bangladesh. So there is so much going on. The Institute of Governance Development has been recognized as one of the leading think tanks in the world. And I think Professor Fuad's own School of Architecture is a focus of innovation. We can say this actually for schools and institutes right across the university. And we should see more emphasis on that in the years to come, as he says. So thank you for asking the question.
Thank you, Dr. Darlan. Thank you, everyone, for joining with us. It was a great session. I myself learned a lot about Brac University. I'm sure all the viewers, they have learned many things and it added value to their lives. Thanks once again for joining, and we believe Brac University will create more future leaders and create a better Bangladesh together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
হ্যালো ভিউয়ার্স, আজকে আমরা দেখছিলাম ব্র্যাক ইউনিভার্সিটি নিয়ে আমাদের দ্য ক্যাম্পাস স্টার্স। আমাদের সামনের এপিসোডে থাকবে আরেকটি ইউনিভার্সিটি এবং আরেকটি ইউনিভার্সিটির আমরা ক্যাম্পাস স্টার্স এবং শিক্ষক এবং তাদের অফিসিয়ালদের নিয়ে আমরা আবার আলাপ করব, আবার জানবো হাউ দে আর অ্যাকচুয়ালি দ্য ক্যাম্পাস স্টার্স। আমাদের সাথেই থাকবেন। থ্যাংক ইউ।